So a lot of things in the game you need to bribe the right officials to actually get things done. Very similar to politics in real life. It's who you know that is important. Let's actually start building another little forum building here. So you can see here. Oh my god. Okay. Oh man, that's bad. Okay. I had it wrong. I thought this was going to look nice there, but no, it's actually I built the center part the wrong way around. Oh man, I'm going to delete that in a moment. Okay, so let's get this one sorted in there. And as soon as that one is built, we're just going to delete the gate and actually build that one again, so it looks nice, because you can kind of see there the roofs don't line up. If I had this one the right way around, it would have lined up very, very nicely. It really looks great, I must say. It's nice. I love the fact that it is quite modular, all the buildings. Vitruvius, you haven't found anything? No, nothing else. Okay, just scan over here for us. I don't think there's anything on the map here. Really, only along the river here. We'll get a nice spot to build a bridge, I think, over here. Ah, here we go. So, we've got the governor. Salve, in my role as governor, I have reviewed your concern. So you want to adjust your salary. Well, if I do not agree, Rome will not approve the salary either. Perhaps you can convince me to support your salary request. We can reject the bribery attempt and try to appeal to the integrity of the governor. And maybe he will decide, yeah, sure, give you the money, or maybe he won't. Or we can give him a small gift, and maybe he will, and maybe he won't. Or we give him a bigger gift, and he's almost guaranteed to say, yes, you can have your salary increased to 3 denarii per week. But we take a hit for our reputation, because, you know, we openly indulging in bribery. So we're just going to go for the small one. Okay, the governor approves your salary. You can submit a change request in a year at the earliest. So now for a year, our salary is fixed, and every week we are going to get 3 denarii added to our personal wealth, which is great. Okay, Vitruvius, our little land surveyor, come and have a look here. Tell us, yes, you can build a bridge over there for us, so we know we can. And then we need him to just go and scan up there for the iron, so we know we can get iron over there as well. We've got a lot of money. Oh, yes, the money is starting to roll in here, which means I am going to start building the wood production. So you see here, the lumberjack, it costs us 8 denarii per week. It will give us 7 wood per week, and we need 1 scriptorium at the forum. But you can't just have the lumberjack, you need the wood processing as well, which will cost us 16 denarii per week. It will also require 1 scriptorium at the forum, and then we need a wood warehouse, which also requires 1 scriptorium and costs us 5 denarii per week. So in total, this will cost us 30 denarii per week, just to have 1 production, or 1 lumberjack production set up. And currently, that will take our expenses up to 53 of the 69.4 that we're actually getting in. So it's going to really dramatically increase the amount of money we are going to need to, or we're going to spend per week. How's our food looking? Okay, you see, we are clearly in winter. We don't have that yet because we don't have a calendar at our forum. But once we build that, we can actually keep track of the seasons. Currently, no food being produced and 6 food being consumed per week. This should be enough to last us at least 20, a little bit more, 27 weeks, more or less. That's quite a bit of food, thankfully. Right, and our houses are basically, it is full, 73 of 73 spaces occupied. So let's actually build a bit more, a few more houses. Let's get some more strip houses in here. I'm actually going to, again, build here. And build another house over there, and I think another 7x2. 7x2 over here. And then we're just going to put a well. Let's put a draw well over here. Yeah, this is actually a nice bigger well. It gives us a bigger radius, and one well should cover all 3 houses over here, which is going to be great. And then, of course, as always, let's get some food production. Once the spring rolls around, we will be able to get a bit of food being produced here as well. Let's get a nice big plot over here. Let's look for a... no, there's not a garden over there. Let's get another little one over here. We'll get a... Let's go for that one over here. We can go for this one. Really going for variety here. That's the name of the game for me at the moment. But we can get a 4x1 in here. That's going to be good. Nice bunch of veggies there. But I think another one like this over here. And I think a 2x2 and a 4x1 right over there. Okay, so with 3 houses, we've got a bunch more food being produced. Let's have a look here. Currently, food production, okay, we won't see, but currently it's 10 being produced. I was hoping we could actually really see an increase here, but we can check here. This produces 1 food per week, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, not too important. Not too important. What is important, the taxes. Oh, the lovely taxes. To get people again to move in more quickly here, we are going to just switch over to a city street over here. Just build it as far as that house is, right over here, along the Decumanus Maximus, over there. Okay. Now, how many scriptoria do we need? We need 2, we've got 3, so I can finally delete this accidental forum over there. And let us get the gate the right way around, shall we? Not that way, that way. Look at that, that is just going to blend in seamlessly. And then we're going to get another one. I think that's the right one. Yeah, that is the right one. Actually, let's get 2 in like that, because the 3 scriptoria we are adding here will be enough for our wood production that we are going to set up here. Ah, more market stalls needed. People are moving in. People are moving in. That is marvelous. Alright, soon we are going to have to start getting the slave market also set up. So we are going to be looking at that in a moment. Let's twist that one around like that. You know what? Let's set this one up like that. This one, I think we can have people looking at that over there. That over there. That over there. Okay, that should be more than enough. Yeah, that's for 165 people, and we'll have a maximum of 117 people when everybody has actually moved in. Okay. Let's see. So, when the Romans, and the Roman Empire was really a massive, massive empire. When they conquered not new civilizations, but when they conquered nations, of course, either people were put to the sword and killed, or they were taken back to the empire as slaves. And this happened, wherever the Romans went in and took over nations, lots and lots and lots of slaves also being exported. Hello there, Aussie. Welcome to the stream. Glad you are here with us for a bit of a Roman city building episode today, or live stream today. Of course, as part of... There we go, I accidentally went too far here. As part of, getting the slaves in, of course, they were sold, and those slaves were from all over the Roman Empire. All the way from, North Africa, the Baltics, all the way to Asia Minor. Wherever they had their dominion, yeah, slaves came from there. Gaul as well, in particular, Britain. A little bit in Britain as well, but I don't really know a lot exactly what happened in Britain with the Romans. I know the Romans were there. Gaul, of course, really hammered by the Romans, except of course if you had Asterix and Obelix with you, then you weren't hammered at all. But what we are going to have now is a slave market being set up. Again, it needs a scriptorium. So 1 scriptorium in the forum, and it's going to cost us 4 denarii per week. And that'll be fine, that'll be fine. How many scriptoria have we got? Have we got enough? Got 3 extra. Yeah, those 3 extra will be for the woodcutters. Okay, so let's actually plop down a different one. Let's plop down another one over here. And another forum segment over there. And then we're going to plop down the slave market. And we're going to have the slave market over here close to where the trade route is. They can just easily come in and voila. So, let's have that. We're going to try to have as few slaves as possible. We're not really going to be excessive in terms of that, but we are going to, for some of the things like the mining of marble, we are going to need some slaves. Also, for religious purposes, for when we start building the temples here, we are going to need some slaves as well. I think the normal shrine does not actually need a slave or slaves, but the Gallo-Roman temple needs 2 slaves. Oh, the shrine actually does need 1 slave for this, 2 slaves for the Gallo-Roman temple, and as you go up to the Portunus temple, this will need 45 slaves. Sheesh. At the temple area, yeah, I don't know. I also think 45 slaves. So, yeah, lots of slaves you will need for that. Now, we are going to have now, as part of the slave market here, we are going to have to, I think it's some... That's the central market. We are going to need, there we go. We're going to need some cages as well. Oh, that's the market stall. No, there we go. There's a cage. This takes, oh, it requires 6 scriptoria. No, that's too many. Yeah, I think this, a smaller one. Again, we're going to try to have as few as possible. But now that we've got the slave market going and we've got the cages, well, as soon as they are built, let's just speed up time a bit here. As soon as they are built, we are going to have, there we go. No, that's not one of the slave wagons. There we go, there's a slave wagon coming with some slaves from elsewhere in the empire, coming to our little market area over there. And then we can actually buy 2 and we can use them in the temple area. Now, the temple really will be great. It makes everybody happier, especially for later on when you start building a little bit outside this green circle over here. It makes everybody happier. Let's see here. Everybody here is like really happy. So that's good. Also, citizens coming along. 101 of 117 villages or liberty that are there. Okay, so for the first time, we've got 100 inhabitants living in our settlement. Congratulations, word is already spreading in Rome that a capable administrator is at work here. Your reputation increases by 2 points. Yay! Now, reputation and personal wealth is important because we can run for office. And we can actually get the rank of Keister or Aedile or Praetor or Censor or Consul. And there are a bunch of benefits like increased salary and stuff like that that comes with your rank, with your position, your political position that you have. So we are going to run for Keister in a moment once we have 360 wealth, personal wealth. Oh, wait a minute. We can run. Here we go. Right on cue. Let's run for office, shall we? Let's see. The augurs have performed auspices. It seems the gods are sending a clear sign. Your candidacy is favored by the gods. So let's run for office. Sent to Rome, and in 1 or 2 weeks, you can visit any post office in the empire. Okay, so we are going to have a look. We are currently, I don't know in what week. We are in a week. We'll go in a little bit. We'll go and find out whether we actually became the Keister or not. We'll see in a moment. All right. Let's see. Hope you all are really having a lovely weekend. We spent the day with my mother-in-law and family, which was really fun. And now I am back. Nick is still visiting her mother, and I am the only one actually like here. And of course, I am streaming, which is a lot of fun. Really great to be here with you. And I do see the irony in actually doing a live stream of a Roman city builder on Easter weekend. There's a bit of irony in there. All right, let's now see. I would like to actually designate an area as a protected area. Now, it makes sense to actually have the area where there's going to be flooding. That's, that is a wetland area. We're going to obviously try and protect that as much as possible. But I also would like to have a bit of biodiversity closer to the city as well, because these natural areas are going to be very important as corridors, technically for birds and insects and mammals and all kinds of things to move through the area. So we're going to try and keep, I think, this area here intact as possible. Not going to expand to this area. And we're also not going to expand, we're not going to push out the natives here, the indigenous, the local people. There we go, locals, that's the, we're not going to push out the locals, we're not going to build in the wetlands. I've got to set myself some restrictions in order to actually build a sustainable city. Now, if we do look at where we can build a lumberjack. Oh, there are some options. Oh, there's one on the other side of the bridge there, on the river. We can't get there yet. We can build over here, which is, okay, here we can build. This is outside the wetland area. And then there is there another one over here? There's an area here we can build. Oh, and this area over here. Okay, so 2 areas over here. Yeah. That's it. And then the one on the other side there. But that really is in the wetland area. So what we do in South Africa is wetland delineation. It is done all over the world, but I know in South Africa we do it quite a bit. Which is you look where wetlands are. And you're not allowed to build in a, depends on how sensitive the wetland is, a 20 to 50 meter radius of that wetland. So what we're going to do is we've got the wetland that extends over here. We can only build from here. Oh, ore deposit found. Thank you very much. Metal ore. Thank you. Thank you. We can only build over here away from this wetland. We're not allowed to build within this wetland area. Okay, so let us hope that we can actually build a lumberjack. Yes, we can. We can plop it right over here. This is going to be away from the wetland, far enough that our impacts are limited. And we're just going to see, okay, if I want to build it right over here, I need the little road running from over here. Okay, so right over there to this side. Right over there. Okay, now let's get the gravel road. I think it was over here. You know what, we're going to build it down. No, we have to, unfortunately, we're going to have to bulldoze that tree over there. Actually, we can do it like that. There we go. And link it up with that road over there. And then we can start with our wood production. So our lumberjack will come right over here. Yeah, right over here. It's far enough away from the wetland. Our lumberjacking impacts will not impact the river. If I had any say, I would also say that none of the trees directly around the wetland may be harvested. So it's only, the lumberjack is only allowed to harvest trees over here. Now the trees actually aren't harvested, so it's not used up, which is great, because otherwise we really would be in a world of pain over here. But it's technically going to only harvest the trees in that area over there. Because the trees growing next to the wetland forms part of the riparian zone. Part of the zone that, you know, the leaves falling off those trees have an impact on the ecology of the wetland. It's bringing in nutrients into the wetland. It's important for the invertebrates and the fish and stuff living in this wetland to sustain them. So we're not going to, and of course if you remove the trees here, it's going to result in runoff or erosion. Sediment's going to wash into the wetland, more sediments than it naturally would get. So yeah, we don't want that either. As an ecologist, we don't want that. Now, this wood processing plant takes a lot of space. We are going to plop him right on the border here. So people coming into our settlement can be in awe of our wood processing facility and our graveyard, because why not? And then we're also going to store some wood. Now, how are our finances looking? Yeah, quite good, quite good. Okay, wood storage. Don't think it fits in here. It just won't fit in there. Okay, so wood storage has to come over there. Okay, that will at least store quite a bit of wood. Now let's see, this little guy over here, the lumberjack, he should now be cutting trees, and of course he's using saws and axes. There we go, that tree actually it was felled. Okay, cool. I hope it doesn't use up all the trees. That will be quite bad if we do use up all the trees there. Okay, but he's going to chop down the trees. The trees are going to be going to this wood production facility over here, and then once it has been processed, formed planks in essence, it's going to come over here to our wood storage once, you know, that is built. Okay, now I really need to build a calendar. That is going to be the next thing we need. So let us first just expand our forum a bit. Oh, Lord, we the inhabitants of the settlement are somewhat concerned. The food supplies are always quite scarce. We would be pleased if you could store at least 1,000 units of food within the next 50 weeks, regardless of whether it is summer or winter. The main thing is that we feel safe. In 50 weeks, we will check the stock again. Oh, okay, fine. We will give you what you want. We will put up 3 more wood storages over here. So let us just put up 3 more small horiums. That should allow us to technically have 1,250 food stored. Okay, because we are producing currently a lot of food, which is great. That really is marvelous. Okay, we want to continue building or expanding our forum over here. I think this is the one that looks nice. Yeah, there we go. right over there. And we're going to, I think, plop it down here. We'll see in a moment. And then we'll plop this one down like that. And then we hope that it looks nice this way around. We'll see in a moment. How many do we need? 8 scriptoria, 19, 11 in essence. Okay, that should be enough right over there. Okay. Now, what we can also now do, and this is what I wanted to do, is the extensions of our forum over here. We can, and let us actually just quickly plop down some more squares over here. Okay. What we can do now is we can... Yes. We can put an extension, and we're going to put the calendar over there. And by building the calendar, we can keep track up here, and we can see what week we are in, and all those lovely things. While this is being built, you know what? We really need to go and find out whether we got the position, whether we became the keystone of the area. So let's just go on to the provincial road, and then we'll travel along the world and see whether we got the job, in essence. Hopefully we did, fingers crossed, because that will give us 3 money per week. Oh, no, sorry, no, it won't give us, we already get 3 money per week, 3 denarii per week. It will give us potentially, I think, up to 10 or 15 denarii per week, which will be great. Now, we are right over here. This is Villa Ecologia. Now, the post offices... There are some U-shaped buildings on the map. I'm just trying to see if I can find one. We can go to one of the big post offices and find out whether we got the job. Now, usually they are quite close to one of the big cities. It's not that. I'm pretty sure it's not that. Okay. There we go. There's a post office right over there. So we are just traveling along the road. And we're going to find out now. I wonder whether that is also the red thing I saw around here somewhere. There was a little red marker over there. I wonder whether that is actually a post. It may be. Let's go here. I think it's still a bit closer to where we are. Yeah, I know. Somewhere. Alright, so if you guys have any suggestions of what you would like to see me also build or talk a bit more about, please do drop it down in the chat as well. And then I'll happily talk a bit more about that as well. Right, so here we go. Now that we're off the main road, our little travel wagon is quite slow. Okay, but hopefully this is a post office. Let's see. Oh! In this city there exists a tavern where the innkeeper offers dice games in a back room. We could go and gamble, but I'm not going to gamble now. Okay, so that wasn't the post office. This is a post office. Okay, so now again, since we are off the main road, we are going to be traveling quite slowly. Hello, Cinnamon. Little Cinnamon, our little cat, is here begging for food, and she is quite wet. It is raining quite nicely here where we are at the moment, which is absolutely lovely. Interesting that it was faster to travel on the main road there. Let's see. The Senate, under the watchful eye of the Emperor, convened and reviewed the applications for office. It was decided that the application of Loxodonta Romanus is the best. Therefore, it is decreed that Loxodonta Romanus, the Roman elephant, shall officially bear the title Keystore from now on. Oh, brilliant. We are now Keystore Loxodonta Romanus. Love that. Okay, let's go back. That wasn't our town. Where is... Oh, there we go. There is Villa Ecologica. Or Ecologia. Let's head back on over there. Okay, bye, Cinnamon. Apparently the map we are in is the river delta. We can establish more cities. We can establish one over there as well. We can establish one in Hispania, one in Gaul, one along the Gallic coast. That is this one a little bit up, I think. I think it is the one... No, it was a little bit lower down. Never mind. There's one, the Gallic coast. There's a great river. There's the gentle coast. There's a swamp. That's London, in essence, we can establish. There's the Great Plain, and there is the island as well. Okay, here's our travel wagon. It is traveling north, traveling up to our Villa Ecologia. Okay, we unfortunately can't actually make the travel wagon travel faster. We just have to wait for it. And there we go. We can now go back into our little town and continue building. Marvelous. Marvelous, marvelous. Wunderbar. Okay, so I love the fact that when it's loading the terrain here, it says a few Pannonian slaves are busy working the terrain with shovels and picks. As soon as they are finished, you can proceed. Please have some patience. And then just in case you thought it wasn't a joke, it's like, the terrain is loading. And every time we come back after a while, it gives us a short summary. Some time ago, construction was done at the forum, as indicated by the reports of the administrative officer responsible for the constructions. The last known event was tampered dice were found in the tavern. So usually, that's the one. I haven't seen anything other than tampered dice being found at the tavern. All right, and here we go. Here is our town. It's still carrying on. The calendar is being built. And we've got the mission. We've got to have 1,000 units of food stored away within 44 weeks. Okay, so let's just quickly increase the speed just so we can see. Okay, the calendar has been built. Has it? No, it's still being built. The forum squares over there have been built. Okay, guys are standing around, just kind of talking, doing their thing, having discussions in the forum. Some people are moving around. Really absolutely lovely. Okay. And the locals are just kind of chilling in their little village. We can click on them and it says, oh, there we go. At last, a calendar has been set up in the city. Now the inhabitants know when to celebrate their birthdays. Your reputation increases by 1 point. Yay! Okay, if we click on the locals here, it says, you already receive our weekly tributes in exchange for the land of our ancestors. And yet you ask again what more we can give you? We have lost everything of value or have given it all to you. We earnestly beg you not to take the land from us. This, of course, gives us the option to drive out the locals. We're not going to do that. We're going to have them continuing on their ancestral land. This is sacred to them. We're going to leave them to do that. All right, let's see here. Let's have a look for something along the river here. Something important. Any like fishing spots or bridge building spots. Anything along those lines. Of course, bridges you would like to build in a shallower area. An area where you can actually easily build a bridge to get across without needing too many materials. Okay. Oh, I was getting worried there with our income, but I see we get 133 denarii per week, and our expenses are 89.5 denarii per week, which is, that's not bad. Really not bad. We can have a look here at income. We can see where we get our money from, and we can see where we lose money. So interesting, the slave market is giving us 5 coins, but it's costing us 6.5. So we're losing money with the slave market that we have. Wood production is costing us 31.3. Okay. And do we have, there we go, personal weekly salary, 3 denarii. Okay. Good stuff. At least we are still making money, and that is the important thing. It means that we are not in the pound seat, we are in the denarii seat. How's our food production looking? Currently not producing anything, but we are using 9. Okay, now let's see. Can we produce anything else? We can have a fisherman's hut. It's only going to cost us 5 denarii per week. So we can afford this. And we can build it right over here. Because this is where there is ample fish. Unfortunately, the thing is, it's right here in this protected area, which I don't really want to build in. Isn't there any other place where there were fish? Any other fish population? I don't want to hamper the conservation of this area, really, if I can help it. I also do need the fish. Catch 22. I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. And there we go. Snow is falling. We're in the middle of winter. This is going to be difficult, getting to 1,000 units of food in 37 weeks. We are most likely going to fail that mission. I would have liked to actually not fail it, but yeah, we may be failing it. Okay. In any case, I didn't want to build here because, well, this is the floodplain. We don't want to build there. Okay, I guess it's unavoidable. We are going to have to come to some kind of compromise here. We are going to put up 1 fisherman's hut. I was going to, if this wasn't the conservation area, I was going to put up 2 fisherman's huts. We're just going to put up 1 right over here. And we are going to just build a road straight to this side. We're not going to have anything else being built in this area. Unfortunately, the road being built is going to take away some of the trees. Unfortunately, that will be the case. Okay, it's mostly taking away trees in this area. So this area still has its trees. Great, 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 great. Okay. I would also like to then just build another small horium right over here. Right over there. That, I think, will mean that we need another scriptorium. Oh, you see, this one was built the wrong way around. Yes, okay. Sorry, little one. There we go, okay. We're going to need... There we go, now it's looking nice there. And we're going to build another one over there. And you know what? Another one over there. Good stuff.